Hi, this is your AP training for 2018 at Canyon High School, and I'm Stephanie Melton, and this training was put together in conjunction with Dustin Davison, who is our AP coordinator for this year. So your proctor qualifications are that you have not taught and you do not currently teach that particular AP subject, and you do not currently have a household member taking that AP exam. The student materials are an answer document and an AP student pack. The AP student pack includes unique labels that identify the student for that AP window, and labels should not be shared. They should be placed on every answer document and free response booklet. And if it's their last exam or their only AP exam, they will take them with them. Otherwise, they turn them back into you. And then students will have a calculator if it's a math or science exam. In general, a calculator cannot have Wi-Fi access, and pretty much if it looks like a calculator, it probably is a calculator. It is the student's responsibility to make sure that it is a College Board approved calculator. So the exam room should have all students facing the same direction. There should be no round tables used for examinees, and students need to be 5 feet apart from the center of one head to the center of another tester's head. They cannot be seated alphabetically. Students should never be allowed to choose their seat. So students should be randomly assigned a seat number ahead of time, and then you want to actually number those desks before they arrive. Calculators are permitted as applicable, again, for math and science exams. And there should not be any food or drink in the exam area, like at the student's particular desk or seat. And no electronic devices are permitted in the testing room. College Board has a very strict policy, so those cell phones should be collected and secured during the testing time. Before the test day, please review the training and the printed materials that you're sent. You want to be sure to read the general instructions too ahead of time, and then also your subject-specific exam administration instructions. Again, read those before test day. We will be using the general instructions too because the majority of the pre-bubbling for students has already been done. And so the general instructions too will just guide the student through, for example, just bubbling their name. Very minimal information. It's real important to read those directions ahead of time and be confident in the AP directions, procedures, and policies. Our AP kiddos in particular are real nervous on AP exam days, and they just want to make sure that everything goes smoothly and that there's no risk of something invalidating their results on exam day. So it really goes a long way for you to just be prepared in general and to know how the exam and how the day is going to flow. Be sure to ask questions and seek any clarification ahead of time if you have any questions, please. So on your test day that you're assigned to, please report to C102 and pick up your materials no later than 7:30 for a morning test or 12 o'clock for an afternoon test. You want to be sure to bring your instructions with you, and it's a good idea to have a watch to verify the time with the clock that's in the room. Your room should already have a clock in it as well for students to see the timing. You want to get your room set up by placing the answer documents with the student packs on their desks ahead of time. And then, of course, assigning those seat numbers to the desks ahead of time. You'll want to write start and stop on the board and hang the testing do not disturb sign. So when you are ready, students can enter and they should be signing in when they come into the room. They need to power off their cell phone, and those need to be collected and held in a bin. And if they brought a snack or a drink, please set aside a designated area where they could put that, where they could easily access that when they're heading out for a break. It does need to be kept separate from the personal belongings because once testing starts, they're not allowed to get into their bags or purses. There will be no late arrivals. So students have been notified with plenty of advance warning that they need to report at 7:50 for a morning exam and at 12:30 for the afternoon exams. So plan to begin reading your general directions at 8 o'clock and then at 12:40 in the afternoon. Once exam booklets have been passed out, no student should be entering the room, and there is no exceptions to this rule. On the test day, you want to read those general instructions too and the subject-specific instructions. You want to read them word for word. Walk around the room while students are entering information. Make sure they're entering it in the correct areas. And you want to actively monitor during the test to make sure students are working in the correct section. Otherwise, this could be a test violation. There shouldn't be any reading or grading papers or using your own personal electronic devices during the administration. You definitely want to be actively monitoring. After students begin testing, you want to create the seating chart, and there on the front side of the seating chart is guidelines by College Board on how to fill that out. And then upon exam completion, when you're collecting exam materials, make sure students place the correct labels on their answer document and on their test booklet as well. So during the test, students can only have on their desk their test booklet, their answer sheet, a number 2 pencil and a pen, and then a calculator for the math or the science exam. Now we're going to have plenty of calculators available for students who don't bring their own. But if a student for some reason chooses not to use a calculator for one of those exams, they must write a waiver statement, and copies of that will be available in your testing tub. So prohibited items include, of course, electronic devices. Those would have been collected at the door when they came in. Watch alarms, protractors, rulers, or compasses, dictionaries, thesauruses, pamphlets or papers of any kind, highlighters or colored pencils, listening, recording, or copying devices, and again, food, beverage, even bottled water. None of that is able to be at their desk, even under their desk, unless for medical reasons, and we don't have any students on our campus who are approved by College Board to have that at their desk. So there is a break in between Section 1 and Section 2. And during that break, students are not allowed to have access to notes or other materials. They should not be going back to their personal belongings. They're not allowed to talk about the test with others. They can't have access to their cell phone or other electronic communication. They cannot leave the testing area. And again, they can't have access to their personal belongings. So students can, though, have a snack, and that should be consumed in the hallway outside the testing room doors. And the students need to be monitored at all times. So if they're in an EOC wing on an EOC testing day, they still can have their snack in the hallway. We just want to make sure they stay reasonably quiet. But at any time they can just be in the hallway and monitored by hall monitor. So after the test, students, again, if this is their last or their only AP exam, they can take that student pack with them. They should take that with them because it's got their AP label, and that's how they're going to access their scores in July. But otherwise, you're going to collect the other student packs for kiddos that have more AP exams coming. Please alphabetize those student packs for us so that we can quickly turn around and prepare for the next day. Test security, you want to safeguard those test documents at all times. Please don't ever leave them unattended before, during, and after test and during breaks. You always want to distribute and collect test booklets and answer documents individually. Don't pass them down the aisle or have students pass them up to you. At the end of the test, you want to collect test booklets in the same order they were distributed. And again, if you refer to the seating chart that College Board provides, the guidelines they give you is that you distribute those in snake formation, going down one aisle and then coming back up the next aisle. You want to be sure you have an answer document or an answer sheet from every student and account for all test materials before you dismiss them. Count, check, and count again before you dismiss those kiddos. And then reminder that test questions and materials are not to be discussed by anyone. That includes the essay topic. And be sure to remind students of that as well. You will be provided also a copy of Unusual Situations that may result in irregularities, and those will be provided to you in a PDF document. Also, if you have any concerns or any issues that occur, you want to notify Dustin Davison as soon as possible. And if you're going to be unexpectedly absent on that test day, the sooner you can notify, the better. So this is Dustin's number here, or shoot him an email as well. If you have any questions or comments or concerns at all, again, Dustin is our AP coordinator for this year, or you can also ask me, Stephanie, and I'd be happy to help you as well. So we just want to thank you for helping us with AP testing for 2018, and have a great day.